Alright, so what's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to be talking about the Season 2 Reloaded update for Vanguard and mainly Warzone, let's be honest. Now after a long wait, we finally have the announcement of Season 2 Reloaded. It's about bloody time, I have to say. So just before we get into today's video, if you are new around here, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, make sure you leave a like on the video. With all that out of the way, I'm just show you the roadmap on screen. There you go, there's the roadmap Season 2 Reloaded. Now, as you can see, the first thing that stood out to me was the amount of zombies content there is on this roadmap. Like, it's actually amazing how much they're like supporting zombies and really listening to the community and trying to sort of fix the errors of the past. Yeah, they don't care. Right, so anyway, that's the roadmap. We're going to get into the blog post now. The first thing that we're going to be talking about is the Rebirth Island map updates. Now this for me personally is the biggest thing because I think that Rebirth is just infinitely better than Caldera and Verdansk. It's just more fun playing Resurgence and all that, so this is definitely the biggest part for me. Now there are a few main sort of map updates to talk about with today, and I'm also going to be showing these pictures on screen for the new map. So here's the first one. To be honest, there isn't really a lot to see here. As you can see, the water tower is it has like flags and it's like repainted and stuff like that. You can also see a redeploy balloon thing, whatever it's called, just up there. That is the thing that was introduced on Caldera, I think, at the start of Season 2, and essentially what it is you just, you grapple up and you can just redeploy anywhere you want. And the final thing in this image is that boat right there. That is the, that's one of the biggest parts of this map update, actually. They've added 2 new cargo ships to the map, which is... It's pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. So the first main thing I want to talk about with this map update is Stronghold revamped. Now, as you can see here, this is what security area is now going to be. It's going to be Stronghold. The layout does look sort of similar, like that sort of entry building was just lower down. But the thing is, the helipad is now actually a redeploy balloon. There was a radar tower sort of building on that left side as well, but that is now on the right side. Essentially, it's all pretty much just built up. It seems like the actual layout of the ground itself is the same, but the buildings themselves have just sort of been like built up. Now, I think the main thing that's going to make this a more popular POI, aside from a new POI, is the more, the higher amount of chests there are going to be. So obviously it's more built up, there's more buildings, there's going to be more chests on the ground, and that essentially means that there's going to be more loot on the floor, which it definitely needed. Sometimes it could, you could struggle to get a loadout here, and if you want to land somewhere and you can't get a loadout, what's the point, pretty much? So I think what also makes this area sick, it looks like there's a redeploy balloon in where the helipad was. So what I perceive this as is you can land here, kill loads of people, whatever, get your loadout, and redeploy wherever you want to. So it's sort of like a fresh restart sort of thing. So you can land here, get your loadout, and go to prison, or go to control center, or Nova, or anywhere you want, essentially. Now, the next one on screen is mine and my friend's personal favorite landing spot, Nova 6. Now, there are a few differences apart from the cargo ship. You can see there's a bridge across this way here by the pier. That is pretty cool, I suppose. But other than that, it looks like it's all pretty much the exact same. But there is a cargo ship now, so once again, this is just going to be more loot, essentially. I don't think there's going to be too much gameplay on this because it's one of those things where, like with the Battle Royale maps, where they add it to the rim of the map. The main example that comes to mind for me is Hijacked from Blackout. That's definitely the best example I can think of. That wasn't just on the shoreline of the map, but it was actually out to sea on that map, because obviously you could swim in that game. You know, there'd be no point in landing there because, you know, 9 times out of 10, you'd have to move on the first circle. And, you know, it would just be a ball ache because you'd have to land out there, kill loads of people, and then either swim away or, you know, get on a boat and drive away. It was just a pain in the ass, and this isn't exactly the same, but what I mean by this is that I don't think this is going to exactly change how many people land here, because it's not like you're going to land there and the circle will land on the cargo ship. It will mainly just be around Nova. Now, they don't actually show the second cargo ship, but there is one just north of Control Center. I think it's like sort of northeast, because the island is sort of like diagonally positioned, but it's just northeast of Control Center. It's by the docks. I think it might be where the helicopter spawn is, if you guys know what I mean. And that's where the second cargo ship's going to be. That is definitely well needed because that area is nowhere near as populated as Nova or anything. It seems like the main thing they're going for with this map update is sort of spreading people out properly, because a lot of people land Nova, headquarters, prison, sometimes even chemical and bioweapon, but even control centers, to be fair. But it's mainly just at those sort of smaller POIs where people would land. They wouldn't go security. They wouldn't go, that sort of docks area or decon. A lot of people wouldn't land there. So I think they're just trying to sort of redistribute people, try and get some more variety in people's landings. And if these cargo ships are good enough, I mean, it might be worth landing on the cargo ship. It's going to be north of control center. If the loot is good enough, it might be worth just landing at that ship and then pushing to control maybe. But the only thing I can think of is there isn't a buy station there, which is sort of a little worrying. But the final map update here, as you can see, this is the Courtyard. Now, they've sort of, they describe it as reinforced the Courtyard a little bit. So, obviously, this is a very open area. You literally you didn't have any cover in this area. But it looks like they've added a couple tents and boxes and things like that. So, you can sort of navigate a lot easier. Also, alongside the railings, they've added this sort of roof thing, which is going to make people sitting there easier, but I don't really see many people using that anyway. And it looks like as well they've added some scaffolding just here on the prison itself. To me, this looks like it might be another way to get on the roof. So you have the stairs on this side and the rappel station, obviously. You have the stairs on the other side, you have the ladder, and the rappel station just sort of back behind you to the left of this picture. This looks like it's just going to be another... Oh, and the gondola, obviously. I can't forget about that. And this looks like it's going to be another way to get onto the roof, which, to be honest, I think there were enough ways to get on the roof. I don't really think we need another one. But at the same time, it can be quite hard to push and hold that roof sometimes. So, I can sort of understand it, but this is where it needs to stop, in my opinion. Like, we've got enough ways to push now. If you're on the roof, you have about like 5 or 6, maybe even 7 different ways to watch. So it's a decent update, but I think this might be pushing it a bit. And the final thing here, they mentioned that there are plenty more places and features to explore on Rebirth Island following the update, but that's up to us to find out, which I do like that sort of mystery. They've detailed the biggest changes. There's probably going to be smaller things that we notice when we land in. Me and my friends are definitely going to be playing this map update when it does come out. So if we see anything, I'll most likely make a video on that. But that is the main part of this Season 2 Reloaded for me. Honestly, this sounds incredible to me. All of this stuff is focused on sort of redistributing people's landing zones, and it just makes it a little more dispersed instead of having like packs of people in areas. I don't think it'll change it a ton, but alongside that, it's also sort of rebalancing the map. Let's say with the prison courtyard, that was a very aid spot if you found yourself in there. Like, it's literally just an open square of land. So if there were people shooting down at you from the roof and you were in the middle of that courtyard, there was nothing you could do. But now you have a tent, you have some boxes to navigate around. It's a lot better. So there are 3 modes with the Season 2 Reloaded for Warzone. The first one is Rebirth Resurgence Solos. Now, this is actually very interesting because Resurgence is a game mode, if you don't know, where you need a teammate to be alive to activate a timer so you can respawn. And you're probably sat there wondering, how the hell does that work with solos? Now, the way they describe it, they say, in this solo variant, operators will have their rebirth meter already activated. This means they will have a free life before needing to earn score for additional respawns. Just like in standard Resurgence, earning kills, completing contracts, and simply staying alive recharges this rebirth timer. The rebirth timer deactivates after a subsequent circle collapse, setting up a final free-for-all showdown where only one operator can fly away from the island victorious. So there are a couple ways to perceive this. I don't know if I'm stupid or not, but I'm not sure if this means where you can only rebirth once, and then if you die again, you die out, or if it means if you get score, it sort of reduces the amount of time you have to wait to rebirth. I'm not really sure exactly how this works. They say that they will have a free life before needing to earn score for additional respawns. So that to me means that you have 1 respawn if you get an unlucky landing, and then if you get more score, let's say you get 3 kills, let's say. If you get those 3 kills, you'll earn another life. If you get 6 kills, you'll earn 2 lives. That's just an example, but I reckon that's how it's going to work, is that you sort of need to earn your respawns, instead of with standard Resurgence where it's just sort of somebody needs to be alive, which that's what I like about it. So this sounds like a very clever take on the Resurgence mode. It applies it for solos, for those who are solo players. Overall, it just sounds really good. Now, the final 2, Rebirth Payload and Rebirth Blood Money. These 2 are literally just Rebirth variants of standard modes. Payload is obviously the objective one with the truck that's 12v12. And the Rebirth Blood Money is literally just plunder, but for Rebirth, which that's a great... I don't know how it took almost 2 years to actually add a plunder Rebirth, but yes, cool. Oh, and the final thing, there's going to be a Rebirth reinforced event. The event itself doesn't sound too interesting. You get legendary blueprints, you do challenges, stuff like that, but the main thing is a weapon trade system, which is going to be a new thing, I believe, just on Rebirth. Now, these weapon trade stations are only unlocked once we do our community challenge thingy for the event, but the way it works, it allows an operator to give up their weapon in exchange for one of lesser quality, plus additional items depending on the original weapon's rarity. These items can include cash, equipment, armor satchels, self-revives, kill streaks, or even a specialist token. So the way this sounds to me is that if you find a legendary blueprint on the floor, you can go to one of these, put it in, and you'll get a blue weapon, let's say, but you'll get an armor satchel and a self-res. That's just how it works for me. I don't know if it's going to be a look of the draw sort of thing, where like if you put in a gold weapon, you reduce down to grey, you might get a specialist token, you might get an airstrike. We don't know. Or maybe it'll be it'll recognize certain blueprints and it'll give you certain things. It will tell you what it's going to give you. I'm not sure how it's going to work. We'll just have to find out when we drop in the next couple of days. But this sounds like an interesting way to get more loot. Now, I'm going to quickly breeze over the Vanguard stuff and to quickly wrap up this video because I don't want to be here for too long, and to be honest, Vanguard is sort of poo-poo. But there's a new 12v12 mode called... what's it called? Hold on. We have a new 12v12 mode called Arms Race. Now, this is a, I think, sort of ground war-esque sort of mode. There are new vehicles in here. There's the motorcycle, the CD12, and the tank. The CD12, I believe, is like a troop transport kind of weapon. But it sounds like it's going to be a ground war type mode. There's 12v12 in the Alps, which is pretty cool. There's some stuff for ranked play. If you guys like Treyarch's take on the ranked play in this game, then there's some new skill divisions and rewards and stuff like that. And finally, zombie stuff. There actually is zombie stuff, believe it or not. There are new covenants and additional features, they say. Let's have a look what they say. So, I think the main thing is whatever covenants are, I don't really know. But there is also a dedicated server pause. 5 months into the game, they just figured out how to pause the game. That's insane. Players in solo matches and single player private matches will be able to pause for only up to 2 hours per match on dedicated servers and continue to pause indefinitely in online local matches. Why? Why can you only pause for 2 hours? Like, I don't get why they do this. What's the point? So I was going to say, like, that ruins high rounds, but who's going for high rounds in Vanguard, honestly? Who cares anymore? So there are just 2 more bits of information to talk about before we wrap up this video. The first one is the Armaguerra 43 SMG. This is a brand new SMG, very high rate of fire, effective as short to medium engagements. We don't really have, well, we do have a lot more information, but they don't really talk about the specifics of the gun that much, apart from fast fire rate. I'd imagine it would have a decent recoil pattern, so I'd expect some recoil. And the final thing is Snoop Dogg is coming to the game. Obviously, if you guys play Ghosts, Snoop Dogg's in that game as a VO, but now he is an actual operator you can play as, which... it's just funny. So he's not releasing until the 19th of April. I don't know why they didn't do it on the 20th of April. A bit weird, but yeah, as you see here, he looks fantastic. He actually looks like Snoop Dogg. Like, it actually looks really good. So obviously he's going to be coming to Vanguard. I think he's also going to be in Warzone. Yeah. Cool. Anyway, that's all we got for today's video. Overall, I'm really excited for this Season 2 Reloaded update. It will be coming out, the Vanguard update is actually today, 4 PM GMT for me, so 4 PM in the afternoon. And tomorrow, at the same time, is going to be the Warzone update. And I think that's when everything will go live. So yeah, they haven't talked about the size of the update, which is sort of weird, but I'm really looking forward to this update. I can't wait to play the new Rebirth Island map. I'm definitely going to be making some videos on that, but that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe if you're new around here. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.